I've been being reached out to a lot lately with many people going through the dark night of the soul. Wow, right away it gets me emotional. I've been there. I'm pretty much always there. The dark night of the soul is the term, of course, that St. John of the Cross came up with in the 1500s. It's the poem that he wrote. It's like 24 stanzas. And the dark night of the soul describes when we become spiritually awake and aware that our only purpose is to live within spiritual consciousness. And the dark night is when we realize that we're not. And we can't live another moment without it. And yet we're trapped and stuck in this material reality, material consciousness. We want to break free from it. It's a paradoxical experience I have when I interact with people experiencing the intensity of the dark night of the soul. Paradoxical because on one level, I'm very happy for them because I know that they can never turn back from spiritual existence now. And that's a blessing. But I'm also paradoxically saddened by it because I know from experience that it is a very difficult experience to have. To feel that there's no hope because you cannot reconcile your material reality with the spiritual one that you now are aware of and need to have. The Buddha gave us some very reassuring insights to this when he said the best and worst day of someone's life is when they realize enlightenment is a real thing. The worst because it begins the dark night of the soul because they now know they will never be happy within the world. The best because they will never stop pursuing it and can attain it in this lifetime. What grieves me very much is that I help a lot of people awaken spiritually. It's a blessing and a curse. They're grateful, and at the same time, as described in the book Within the Portal, of one individual that said, I can never go back, can I? Now that I've seen the truth of the more material reality. And I said, no, you can't. And she said, as tragic as it is, I wouldn't have it any other way. And yet this individual, for example, did eventually go back to sleep in spirit and go back to the material world. Because this individual did not continue to do spiritual practice known as sadhana, to continue to interact with her spiritual growth and progress. This is required. We need connections, we need practice, we need to apply what we feel and what we know. I'd rather live within spiritual pain and suffering, seeking and pursuing the truth and the eternal truths to enlightenment, illumination, and spiritual divine consciousness, than to be happy in the material world, which is fake and false and temporary and limited. Embrace your dark night of the soul. As painful as it is, as lonely as it is, it happens for a reason. It's where you begin or continue your many lifetimes of spiritual questing and pursuit to attain divine love consciousness, which you can do within this lifetime. Yes, it's lonely, and this is why there are some communities, and I'm establishing one as well, within the portal, where we will get together regularly to have spiritual discussion, connect as souls, divine eternal souls, not as people, and speak of and interact with the eternal truths. To put an end to the dark night of the soul within this lifetime. That's my goal. It's your goal too. It's every soul's goal. to attain divine love consciousness within this very lifetime. Hope you'll join me. Jai Shri Radhe, glory to the essence of divine love.